Hello again, and welcome to the Not That MJ podcast. Seriously, we're not that MJ. We are part of the Uplift United Podcast Network, and I am your host, Matthew Dvorak, joined as always by my co-host,
Jeremy Dramaku, and every week we'll be bringing you the newest, hottest topics in sports. So let's get into it.
Hey man, did you see that Tyson fight? How about that though, huh?
Yeah, man, I did not believe it when I saw it with my own eyes. What about that Nate fight, though?
Bro, poor Nate Robinson. How about Nate Robinson, bro?
Hey, man, that's okay.
Homeboy got rocked.
To be honest,
Bruh.
the ref, he should have called it the first time he went down because he did not look okay to me.
See, but they were going by
I get
world
it.
boxing. They were going
Mhm.
by World Boxing Championship rules, and you can take a knee in the WBC, and it's not considered a down. And as long as you're up before the 10 count, if you go all the way down, they have no right to call the match. And he signed
Okay.
off on those rules. So
Mhm.
like it was a legally sanctioned
Mhm.
WBC match between him and Jake Paul, because Jake Paul's a WBC athlete right now. So he was like in a sanctioned match. It wasn't like how Tyson and Jones Jr. was considered a vigorous exhibition where they were making full contact, but they weren't wearing face masks, basically because they're both in their 50s, and that's the only way that the California State Athletic Commission would authorize it. That could have been called at any time just because one of them was breathing heavy. But
Right.
the other match was like an actual licensed match. Like Jake Paul now goes 2-0 and jumps up the rankings by quite a bit because he fought these two matches.
Good for
Didn't
him, I
they call that
guess.
bullshit? Didn't they call that Roy Jones Mike Tyson fight a draw too?
They did call the
Yeah.
Mike Tyson Roy Jones Jr. fight a draw, yes, and Mike Tyson very clearly won that fight.
Not just that, like y'all gotta stop putting these bullshit pay-per-views out just to make money.
Hey, it
Like
works, though, man. It's business.
big business,
Is it
right?
though?
Absolutely. It is, though. People tuned in. I tuned in.
Bro, but like if you're gonna put a match on like that, give me a win. Give me a definitive conclusion
True.
here. Don't put these two old ass dudes in the ring, which admittedly they'd still both whoop my ass. I'm not gonna lie.
Oof.
Don't put these two old ass dudes in the ring for us to pay $100 a pop for it, just to call that shit a draw. Give me an end, please.
Agreed.
Like I didn't watch any of it, but the fuck, man.
I mean, just to jump in though, you saw how much bitching Roy Jones Jr. did when he got his ass saved with a draw, saying that he was the best boxer of all time. Can you imagine if they'd actually given Tyson that W?
I mean, they just should have. I don't. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't watch it. I didn't because I was at work. Or no, I wasn't at work. I was doing something. But, ugh.
First thing I really want to kick off with, though, is the NBA drafts.
Oh, I'm so glad we're on the same page today, man. Oof.
But overall, how do you think your Mavericks did, if I don't mind me asking?
You know, I've spent anytime we talk about the Mavs up here and what we need this offseason, I talked about how we either need, in my opinion, a big defensive rim running center or some gosh dang 3-and-D help at the wing. And goddamn if Donnie Nelson and Mark Cuban didn't hear us all, because wings they got, my man. We got Josh Green out of Arizona, Tyrell Terry, who is a sneaky good pickup. In my opinion, could come out to be the steal of this draft. We got. Don't worry, we'll get there. Hold your applause till the end. We'll get there. We got Josh Richardson right out of that deal with the 76ers. We sent Seth Curry in that deal.
Mm.
Trust me, I was rough about
I
it
know.
too.
Mhm.
I was rough about it too. Like because we were sitting here with my buddy who had come down for our producer Sam, Sammy G, his wedding. He got married. Congrats to him. Shout out.
Congrats, man.
But one of our friends, Nathan, one of the groomsmen, was in town. He was staying with me, and the night of the draft, we were sitting here getting updates and everything, and one of them was the Seth Curry trade. And I looked at him, and we're both Mavs fans, and I was like, "How do we feel about this?" Because he's my NBA guy. Like I know a lot myself, but when I really need like an actual in-depth analysis on something I don't know, I go to him. So he was like, "It's good. We've got enough shooting. Seth Curry was great at shooting, yes, but we've got enough of that around between Luka, KP when they're both hot. You got Tim Hardaway. We got, shooting's not an issue. Defense is what
Sure.
we needed. And Josh Richardson, I feel good about him coming back in a trade. I do. I'm okay with that.
That was a really, really good pickup. I like him a lot. I was sad to see him go, but his shooting though is kind of inconsistent up there. And to be honest, this whole Seth Curry situation, you can never have too many shooters. Luka is not that great of a shooter. Like, come on.
Not, no, I'm not going to say because his 3-point percentage this season definitely took a dip. It was like 30%, 31, rough around there. It was a little rough. He was rough shooting from three, but come on now, don't disrespect Luka. The chances he creates, the offense he makes on his own,
It's no shade.
the
It's no
inside
shade.
game. But yes, his shooting is a little rough. But like I said, Tim Hardaway, we found out what a good shooter he can be starting. You have KP. KP can cook. Let me think what else we got. I'm drawing a blank. But plenty of shooting. And yes, Seth Curry is was a big part of that offense when he was hot. He was really great. He could shoot lights out. But we needed the defense more. And I think we can do that. Plus, Tyrell Terry, number 31 pick out of Stanford, he can do all of those things. He can shoot threes, he can create offense, and he can defend. So I think he's a really good pickup. I think in a perfect world, he can slide in and just take Seth's place.
Wow,
in a perfect
so,
world, mind you. In a perfect world.
okay, we'll go with that. To be honest, I actually like the trade more for the 76ers because they desperately needed some shooting. Seth fills that perfectly. It's always sad for an organization that's a great shooter go. He's historically great. So I feel like y'all are going to miss him more than you're letting on. But Tim, like you said, he's not a bad shooter. He really stepped up this year.
He did. And like I said, don't get me wrong, I miss the guy. That's why I deferred to Nathan. I said, guy, give me a reason that this makes sense because that hurts. Because you're right, Seth Curry is a historic three-point shooter. The dude is lights out beyond the arc. And I will miss him. I will. But like I said, I think in the long run it'll be good. Like I said, we needed some type of help in the wing.
Right.
We can't keep having Dorian Finney-Smith or Justin Jackson or Maxi Kleber be the guy that's guarding Kawhi and LeBron and AD or pick your poison in the West, at that point out of the playoffs.
Personally, I don't mind that, but I guess you actually want to win this time around, so it's cool.
My friend, I've missed the subtle shades so much.
Anyways, it was kind of also a historic night for the Nigerians. They had about 8 of them go in the first round, 2 of them top 10. That's pretty amazing. I think only 2 of them are actually naturally born in Nigeria. The rest of them had Nigerian descent here in the United States, so it's pretty historic.
Like first or second generation?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. I didn't know that. Who were the top 10 picks?
It was Isaac Okoro. He went to the Cavs.
Yeah.
They have him listed as a small forward freshman. I think he was freshman of the year, if I'm not mistaken. Or I might be wrong about that. And then it was Onika Okongwu. He went to the Hawks. He's power forward. He actually played in Chino Hills with the Ball brothers.
Nice. Okay.
It's not bad.
Excellent.
I was really, really shocked that Obi Toppin fell to the Knicks, to be honest with you. I thought he was going maybe more top 5.
You thought so, huh?
Yeah. But who's the biggest surprise to you in the first
Out of
round
the,
at least?
out of the draft?
Yeah.
Nobody I was really surprised. The first 3 went about as expected. It was Anthony Edwards, James Wiseman, LaMelo Ball. I don't know how LaMelo fits in Charlotte. I'm not positive that he does. But I guess we'll find out. Michael Jordan just signed, that great superstar Gordon Hayward to that 4-year, $120 million deal. So
Got to get it how you can, man.
Mike making those money moves.
But to be honest, for me, the Bulls drafted Patrick Williams. Because I didn't really hear much of him. They said he has an extremely high ceiling. His measurables are almost comparable to LeBron, like 6'8", 225 or whatnot. If he can grow into that and mature his game, might be really, really sneaky pickup. But still surprised he went before. I mean, Obi. You still had Denny Avdija, the Israeli. I'm surprised he fell to number 9 to the Wizards as well. That's a really, really great pickup for them.
Agreed. Um, I really like Cole Anthony to the Magic. I'm kind of gonna lie. The kid from North Carolina, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I was hoping he would fall to 18 to the Mavericks and we would scoop him, but wishful thinking, right?
Absolutely. But
But
Tyrese Maxey, y'all could have had him.
we could have, but I'm happy with Josh Green. I really am. I'm happy with it.
Okay. I mean, he's decent. He's decent to me.
Definitely.
Maxey looks like he'd been better, but what do I know?
We'll see. I think Josh Green could be more athletic than Maxey. Maxey, God love him, always looks a little too stiff in the pick and roll to me sometimes.
Really?
I think that's where Dwight always had the advantage, was he was always a little more flexible would probably be the actual term. Bendy is the word I'm going to use.
Mm-hmm.
He just seemed more fluid in the pick and roll than Maxey does sometimes. Hopefully it's still that way coming off that Achilles tear, so we'll see about that. But Maxey does a great job, in my opinion. He has great inside presence for his frame. I think he's real skinny to be a power forward, but I think he has great inside presence. His 3 had fallen off a little bit last year, and that could have been a product of playing time interrupted by the new lineup and everything, especially with KP being there, of course. But I don't know. I'm excited for the season, man. I really am.
So am I. It should be a really nice season this year. But AD still hasn't signed. I wonder what the holdup is.
I don't know. I doubt it's anything to worry about.
Okay, I was gonna say because the Mavs are always looking, right. They have money to spend. Apparently, trying to go after Giannis.
You saw that was the other thing. You saw those moves we made, right?
Yeah, I did.
You saw that. You saw we dumped that DeLon Wright deal. Not dumped. He was a good guy. I'll miss him.
He was.
We moved DeLon Wright. We moved Justin Jackson, who I will not be sorry to be gone. No disrespect, but all due respect, I have no respect. So, and we took on James Johnson, right, from the Timberwolves, I believe.
Through that OK. See that one.
We took on James Johnson, I think, through the Timberwolves, in one of like an OKC trade as well, like a 3-team trade somewhere in there.
Oh, okay.
Picked up him. The good thing about him is we can either, I guess the idea is what I've heard is either obviously keep him as an option, but in a pinch you can move him for something, for another like draft piece, or he's another salary you can dump at the end of the year to go hunting in 2021. Of course, the idea being for Giannis. That being said, on Giannis, hasn't signed that deal yet, and he has until December 21st to do it. Do you think it happens?
I think that bogey trade with Boban or Bogdan.
Oh, that tanked Bogdanovich deal.
Yeah, I don't.
God.
That was the most weirdest thing I've ever seen in the NBA free agents. I mean, Woj usually has it on the dot, but that was weird. The fact that they missed him, I think plays really. I don't know who else they can get at this point. I don't know who else is out there to be traded for. I think he walks. I mean, I love he's one of my favorite players, but he's just not enough. I think they need another scorer to pair up with Chris.
I thought they should have gone after Chris Paul. I thought that's what was going to happen before the Suns swooped in on that one. But yeah, dude, that was crazy to me, because when I saw in the same night, and we'll get to I'll ask you your opinion on the Drew Holiday trade here in a minute, but they scooped Drew Holiday. The word came out that they had picked up Bogdanovich in that signing trade, and you're sitting there thinking to yourself, wow, they really did not fuck around here and went out and made the moves they needed to keep Giannis here. Mm-hmm. Yes. But yeah, and then news comes out later that it's like, yeah, It makes me wonder, did they even call the man? Did anyone even bother to pick up the phone and include him? Because he wasn't technically a free agent yet. So he would still have had to agree to the sign-in trade to sign with the Kings and then be traded. Like, it makes me wonder if anybody even picked up the phone to be like, hey, man, you want to go play with Giannis? Cool. I think he felt disrespected by the fact that nobody called him, and that's why he was like, fuck both of you guys. I'm going to go to Atlanta.
But low-key, Atlanta is really making a lot of moves, to be honest with you. I like their future. This is very bright.
What else did they do? They signed Bogdanovich. They signed somebody else, I know.
They got Rondo. I think he's more for mentorship. I don't think they're doing anything this year, but I don't know if you remember a couple of years ago they drafted Cam Reddish.
Yes.
And when he was coming out, I loved him coming out. I think his shooting stroke is almost flawless. I don't know he's not aggressive enough. I don't know why, but I'm looking for that to change this time around. They also got Daniil Hunter. It's a very, very young, talented team. So we'll see what they're going to do this year. But I don't think this is going to be the year they're going to come out. Maybe next year.
Finally time for Trae Young to put those Luka comparisons to rest.
I think he already did, to be honest with you. I think it was a great trade for both teams and for both players. Like, it was a perfect opportunity for them. I don't think there should be any type of comparison of who won or who lost.
It isn't, unfortunately. You're right. I mean, I should say I agree with you. There's comparison because they both, even from their rookie years, have made their own names in their own right. They've both done their own thing. Trae Young is putting up gaudy numbers just on, admittedly, a worse. That's all the really differences at this point. I mean, obviously, I shouldn't say that. There's obviously differences, but you know what I'm saying.
Right. Actually, no, I take that back. The only thing I would give Luka over Trae, Luka seems like more of a winner. Like, he makes his numbers are not empty calories. Trae, sometimes they can be. That's the only difference I would say. Like, it's kind of like comparing maybe KD to LeBron in a way. Whenever LeBron fills up the entire stat sheet, you can feel his presence in the game. Sometimes I look at KD and he only took 8 shots, but he still had like 30 points. And they might win or they might lose. But he scores so effortless. It's kind of like Trae Young in that way.
I would compare it more James Harden. James Harden to me is an empty calorie scorer sometimes.
Oh, and
it feels that way. I'm not trying to hate on him, but
man.
You can't tell me that sometimes when James Harden puts up 50, you can't tell me that when he puts up 50,
he's the entire offense. Hey, come on, man. He's a playmaker. That's what he does. He's supposed to do that.
Okay. Then how about this? Maybe a more apt comparison is at a certain point when Russell Westbrook was still putting up triple doubles and they just kept losing, and you were like, "It's cool, guy, but where's the wins, though?" You feel me?
The only difference with that is he plays so hard. You just have to respect it and overlook the losses. He plays too hard to hold him accountable for that. I'm sorry. And the team was not that talented, so.
They weren't. And I mean, we discussed this before too. It's especially after KD left, I'll never not hate KD, not hate on KD not only for joining that super team Warriors like he did, but for the way he just up and left Russell Westbrook. It was the of the Baltimore Colts picking up and moving to Indianapolis in the middle of the night and changing cities. Like, what in the fuck?
You can't respect things like that, I just to this day, I don't think I'm ever going to respect KD. I can't even look at him the same, to be honest with you. I never liked him before because he tried to throw shade at Kawhi a while back. So I was looking at him sideways. Then he did that after he caught this dude, his brother. I can't respect that. It's really snakish.
It's just the cascading. To me, it's just the effects of everything around it that happened because of it. Because you got to remember, Westbrook only signed that massive extension because he thought KD was going to be there. I am more than positive that if he knew KD was going to leave at some point, or if he had an intention of it, he would have just left the year before and not have to deal with it. So not only that, and then the chasm you left. Remember all those reporters sticking a mic in Russ's face and saying, Why did KD leave? What did you do that made him leave? Remember that?
Yeah, I remember. Yep.
And that's wrong to me. Like, he didn't do nothing but chase a ring. And feel how you want about that, but I'm just mad that it left Russ holding everything.
But I will say the only good thing that came out of that was the Warriors versus OKC. That was intense. And I knew he was going to bring it, and he did. It didn't look pretty all the time, but he brought it. And you want to see that type of intensity and fight from Russ. That's the only good thing that came out of it.
Of course. Of course. So, we'll see. Speaking of the Warriors, James Wiseman. How you feel about that? The rich get richer.
So they're saying he might start off as a Anthony Davis-ish prototype, then eventually develop an outside game. If that's the case, like you said, the rich get richer, because that'll be a great pickup. Although I still, for some reason, feel like they're gonna try to shop him plus Andrew Wiggins for somebody else. But with the Clay being hurt, probably not even this year, maybe next year, or they might still try to do it this year. Who knows?
Poor Klay Thompson, man.
Yeah, man, that was tough.
That's one dude I really feel for.
Yeah, plays hard, man. Respect.
He does. Well, I mean, what sucks is that's because he's what, about 30 years old this year, I think? Maybe 31.
Probably 31. Not too sure.
I would say he's somewhere in his early 30s, 30 to early 30s. So you got to think 2 injuries in a row like that.
Man,
That's about. It just makes me wonder what he's going to look like when he comes back, when he finally does come back, whenever that is.
but I mean, his shooting stroke shouldn't leave, but it's the back-to-back of recovery, rehab. Mentally, I know it's tough on players. So I can't imagine back-to-back years, bro. Man,
Not even that. To me, that's just you got to think that's an ACL and an Achilles. I think they're in separate legs, granted, but man, that has got to be just hell on your movement and your lateral quickness.
he wasn't always the most athletic person on the court to begin with, but he played hard, so you'd see it in his defensive efforts. So maybe he'd just be a spot-up shooter going forward, like a Ray Allen-ish.
That's not a bad way to kind of twilight into a Hall of Fame career ending.
Dang.
So,
Yeah. But who do you think that they should go after if they were to do the Anthony Davis, not Anthony Davis, but Andrew Wiggins, James Wiseman trade?
who do I think they should go after if they're going to try to
Yeah.
package them for something like that? I think if you're going to trade James Wiseman, you have to get something around that value or around that like type of player.
So you're saying before you continue, you're saying James Wiseman is a higher talent than Andrew?
I
Former number
didn't.
one?
I should have said I didn't mean caliber. I meant like that same type of player. I think you need that same. You need some type of big body in the middle somewhere.
Okay.
Like a hyper athletic big would be nice. So I think if you're going to trade, like I said, James Wiseman, you need to go get somebody kind of like him. I just don't know who you could flip for those two.
To be honest, only one person I was thinking of if I was them, because I want to put Clay before the injury, of course, at the 3, maybe trade for Bradley Beal. Put him at the 2.
I was thinking that. I was kind of going over who's the most disgruntled ones you start there, right? Who'd be easiest to get in a trade. It'd be nice because you could put, obviously put Steph at the 1. You said Clay at the 3, right? Shooting guard?
Clay at the 3, yep. And then Bradley Beal at the 2.
Yeah.
The shooting guard, yeah.
Bradley Beal at the 2. You still put Draymond at the 4, you say?
Well, they have Marquise Chris. I was going to say this earlier. He's working on his shooting. I don't think he's going to be a good shooter by any stretch, but he's very, very hyper athletic, like you're talking about. Clean up around the rim, and then put Draymond at the 5.
Okay. Because the good thing about Draymond is he'll do the dirty work. Yep. He will.
I think they have Willie Cauley-Stein also, if I'm not mistaken.
No, we re-signed Willie Cauley-Stein.
Oh, you did?
because they did have him last year. We before the trade deadline traded him for a second round pick, or traded for him. We gave them a second round pick for Willie Cauley-Stein, and then we re-signed him to a 2-year, like $8 million deal this year.
Mavs. Okay.
So
Which you probably didn't see, but the Spurs actually got a decent pickup.
who?
Devin Vassell. I, he's really linky, right? They have him listed as 6'7", small forward. For some reason, he reminded me of KD when it was not as linky or as skinny, but his ceiling to me looks pretty high. Got some muscle on him. Work on his physical approach to the game. I think he'll be nice. It's a good pickup.
Okay, very good. Y'all gonna trade LaMarcus Aldridge yet, or what? You just gonna let that deal run its course?
That's like one of the most saddest things that has happened to that organization, in my opinion. Because I thought we were getting Portland, LA, because he was a monster. And ever since he came over here, it was just downhill. It's like he's retiring almost. I don't even know who would want him in this day and age. He doesn't like shooting threes. He can. I don't know who'd want to pick him up.
Nobody. I just want to tease you about it. Just want to throw that one back in your face for a minute. So I'm gonna go back to something earlier in regards to the Giannis deal. How do you feel about the Drew Holiday thing? How do you feel about that trade?
Perfect for what they were looking for. Because my problem with Bledsoe was every time we got down to the playoffs, he's a good defender, but he played really small, and he's already small. And for some reason, he wasn't able to score all the time. He couldn't really create his own shot. He wasn't getting others involved. So he's exactly what they needed at the point guard. But to be honest, I would have liked if they would have won someone a little bit cheaper than Dennis Schroeder with his length and go big. But Drew is still perfect because he can work on the offensive side and give Giannis a little break. But I feel like Chris Middleton should be a third option. Drew can be a second option, but I don't think that's why they brought him there.
No. I would wholeheartedly agree there. It's not. Drawing a blank. But 3 first-round picks and 2 pick swaps, they got the Paul George treatment on Drew Holiday there.
I mean, the Pelicans are doing nice things themselves. Can't even hold them. It's a good trade for them. But I feel like if you're the Bucks, you have to make that because you're trying to win right now, and you need Giannis to sign. I think they had to.
I just
You don't like it?
Nuclear doomsday scenario is you make that trade and then you're stuck with Drew Holiday as your best player when Giannis leaves.
That would suck for Drew. I don't want him to leave, but they need one more person. And I don't know who they can get at this point. That Bogdan trade would have been perfect for them because he can create his own shot. He's a bucket getter. I like him a lot. And then Chris can be your third wheel, and you still have Drew. They can really make some noise finally in the playoffs. But I mean, even if they don't get anybody else, Drew can still score, and he can facilitate, and he can defend. If I was him, I would stay, honestly. But I think he's gonna end up leaving.
I don't know, because he can always not sign by December 21st and still sign like a max deal with Milwaukee after he enters free agency again. Yes.
Right.
Now, would it not be as much? Would it not be that supermax still?
No, I think they'll try by any means to still give him that. Because if he leaves, I don't think they get anybody close to his talent walking through those buildings via free agency.
Doubtful. Doubtful. I just think I don't know, man. Five
But
first
to be
is
honest
just
with you, the way
can't
you're
do it to me.
sounding, I feel like you don't believe in Giannis that much. To be honest with you, you sound a little hesitant. You wouldn't give him the full max? Is that what you're saying?
No. No, because isn't there some type of deal where like if he declines to sign the deal by December 21st, doesn't it automatically go down? Like per the CBA, doesn't it go down? Or can they still give him like the super max in free agency?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure about that.
Because I know that's the thing with the way they work now is they work all differently. Like the Bucks are the ones that can pay him the most money. No one, I don't think anybody can like physically per the CBA pay him as much money as the Bucks have the chance to.
Right.
And I know the entire idea with the whole thing with the Supermax was you keep the homegrown stars where they are, especially in the small markets. It was made for this exact situation here.
Exactly.
You have a small market team that brings up legitimately homegrows an absolute possible face of the league, franchise altering player. And then normally what happens is, they're small market, they can't pay him, so he goes to whoever has the most money at the time and just takes a contract. So I think what happens is they can sign him to like 240 million, whatever. Somebody else can only sign him to like 150, 60, something like that. So I don't know for sure, but I think he's gone. And I think the Bucks overpaid to have Drew Holiday be their best player in a year when he is gone. So we will see.
So if you were Giannis, would you leave or would you stay?
If I was Giannis,
Uh-huh.
I would. If I was Giannis, I would not sign this deal this year, and I'd run it back one more time throughout this season, see where you get, and evaluate from there. If I get another second round exit, dip.
Okay, but in all fairness, I love Giannis, but hey, they're kind of losing also because you're not coming up as big as you used to. Granted, you could use more help around you shooting wise, but at the end of the day, you have to go and get it.
You got to be the guy, right?
You have to, honestly.
And that's fair. I'll credit you that. That's fair. But I don't know. Personally, I've got my own wonder kid to worry about. I ain't worried about Giannis. Would it be nice to have him? Sure. But at the end of the day, I've still got Hallelujah.
Yeah, I'm really getting tired of these Mavs fans, man. Get one superstar, think you run the world. Just relax.
Bro, I'm tired of you hating on the shine.
But
Like,
he might end up leaving. Y'all keep playing.
you're hoeing. Don't even talk like that. Don't even put that shit in the universe.
Just go ahead and put it out there. Why not? Luca in the black, silver.
In the words of Will Ferrell, don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
You don't think he would look nice in the black and silver
Fuck no.
with Pop? I'm just thinking. Just listen. Luca is a genius. Pop, the greatest all time, arguably. Put those two together, it's like having Ginobili-ish talent on steroids.
That is one thing he was always compared to during the pre-draft process was like a jumbo Steve Nash or like a really just bigger Ginobili, and I could see it. It'd be nice, but no, I like him in that blue. I like him with Rick Carlisle. I like him in the AAC.
Do you feel like they should have kept Dennis, the little flashy point guard, Smith Jr.?
Do I think that it was something we needed in our offense, a guy like that? Absolutely, especially because look what happened. We picked up Trey Burke for the bubble, and the offense got even better. I mean, we just signed him again to a 3-year deal at the end of this season. Thank God. I'm happy about that. To do the same thing that we kind of had Dennis drafted to do, essentially. And that was the initial idea when we drafted Luka, was to have them play alongside each other. Do I wish we had him over Kristaps? No.
I mean, more of a off the bench. I think he could be a great 6-man.
Yes, I can agree with you there, 100%. I would have loved to see him off the bench. Because I think you're right. He would have done great leading like that second unit, kind of like how Seth Curry used to lead the bench, off, coming off. I think he could have done that.
Or even the way Ginobili was moved to the bench. That's what champions do.
They do what has to be done.
Absolutely, man. Sacrifice.
That's true. That's true. So we'll see. But no, I think Luka is good right where he belongs. Just so we're clear there.
Yeah, we'll see about that. I mean, wasn't it the same organization that after they won the championship blew up the whole team, basically? Same one, right? You never know. It's probably the Bill O'Brien curse. Who knows what could happen?
Bruh. Now I'm listen. There's any evil you're not gonna put on me. It's that Bill O'Brien. Don't you dare put the Bob curse on me.
Oh man. I'm just saying, you never know. Never know.
Hell no. So, I heard you mention Dennis Schroeder earlier, though. The Lakers. Talk about money moves. God bless.
Great. I don't really love Montrez. I've never ever really liked him. I don't know how I feel about that. Because he gave you, I think, gave them almost 16 a game with the Clippers.
Something like that.
But it's more of like a grimy 16. Like he really, really gets it. And I think they could use somebody like that. But I think they have Morris for that, the one of the twins. I don't know if I really like him like that, to be honest with you.
I mean, as a player, he's good. I mean, he was Sixth Man of the Year. He really, I mean, you're right. He'll give you a grimy 16 points a game. He'll get down there and grit and grind. That it very much reminded me of like, the old grit and grind Grizzly thing. I think he would have really fit well in that.
I don't know about all that because they actually have skill as well. No disrespect. I don't really see any skill in his game because the only person you could compare him to would be Zebo. Zebo is very skilled and tough and grimy. He's just grimy. That's all he brings. And he really attacks the offensive board. That's why I love him. It's the only reason, to be honest.
That's why I think he fits so well in the Clippers, dude. The Clippers, I've never seen, at least up to last season, because they also got rid of Landry Shamet as well. Traded him for the number 19 pick to the Nets. But like last year, I've never seen a team, like a full team of dudes that I just did not like. You go almost top to bottom on that roster. You're like, dude, I hate this fucking guy.
Really?
I don't like this guy. You're like, God damn, I don't like this guy either.
You don't like Lou? Sweet Lou?
Exaggeration. Obviously not every guy on there. It's an exaggeration. But just like between Trez, between Landry Shamet, between Markieff Morris.
But you don't like Landry either?
Patrick. I didn't like Landry Shamet in the playoffs, man.
Why?
He's an asshole, bro. I don't like him. I don't like him.
He's making the best out of every opportunity he got. I didn't see him doing anything wrong, unless I missed something. What did he do?
Just the whole.
Y'all had a playoff series with them. That's why.
It's because they were mad disrespectful the whole series, bro.
Okay, I see. So you're salty. Series,
they were mad disrespectful.
I like it.
I'm salty as hell, bro. You know what I'm
fine.
salty about?
That's fine.
The fact that the Mavs had a legitimate chance to probably go out and win that series, but just like they do every time they're in the playoffs, man, the refs fuck. NBA don't like to see the Mavs win, bro.
I don't.
They like to keep Mark Cuban down just because he likes to go clubbing with his players. Just because that man signed Chandler Parsons to a $96 million deal just to be his clubbing partner for 7 points a game does not mean y'all get to hate and keep us down in the playoffs when we actually here to do something. That's all I'm saying.
We're trying to keep the legacy alive, man. This is what y'all do. Stay in your lane. Over here getting Kristaps for what?
Bro, fuck that noise, man. Fuck that lane, too. I'm here to make noise. We're here for it. That's what we're all about. Y'all were hating in 06 because we were going to beat Dwayne Wade and take away his ring. Y'all couldn't stop Dirk Shine in 2011. All the tampering in the world to put LeBron in Miami could not stop that from happening.
Yeah, all right.
That's just a joke. That's all a joke. That's me being salty. That was me being salty. But and the refs they continue to do it last year in this bullshit playoff series against the Clippers, man.
But do you ever think Dirk would ever come out of retirement just to be a little spot up shooter for them? Still, rainbow threes are still hit. Shooters never lose their touch.
Shooters always shoot, and I agree with you there. But Dirk, God bless him, I wasn't excited to see him retire because I was tired of having him. I would have let Dirk, if he wanted to deep in his heart, play for a million years. I would have let him be in a wheelchair being shuffling up and down that court if he wanted to, because he is my GOAT. He is the GOAT to Dallas. All due respect to any Dallas Cowboys and Tony Romo, Dirk is the true Dallas GOAT.
Dallas GOAT.
And Dallas GOAT? Yeah, in Dallas, he's the GOAT. In Dallas, he is the GOAT. So all due respect to him, I would have let him do that. But all due respect to Dirk, watching him at the end of his career, yeah, dude, it's like watching. You ever watch old people in like cafeterias try to like shuffle their feet and move across the floor? Sometimes like watching that happen when Dirk was running up and down the court, man. It was so rough.
Oh man.
No, man, listen. True story. This is an absolute true story. The first time I ever thought to myself that Dirk needs to retire, and this is the first time this ever happened. Me and my buddy were at a Mavs game. They were playing the Thunder, right? It was 2016 or 2017. It was the year or two before they got Luka. We had just signed Nerlens Noel, but they were still starting Dirk at center for whatever reason. I promise you, Jeremy, that the first 3 possessions the Thunder had, it went exactly like this. Russ brings it up the court. He dumps it off to Steven Adams. Steven Adams just meticulously backs Dirk all the way down to the basket and hooks him. They do that 3 times in a row, and I was like, yo, please, anybody, take Dirk off right now. For the love of God. I am not going to watch my GOAT get backed down by Steven Adams in the paint repeatedly.
At least you call him your GOAT. That's all that matters. But I mean, I think somebody was saying he has a 4-inch vertical. I don't know if that's accurate or not. Oh my goodness, man. I I respect Dirk. Respect what he did for the game. Like he really changed it. It's a lot of respect. But to even put him in the GOAT category, that's reaching for me, man. You're reaching on that one.
Like
No,
I
no
said,
shade. No
like
shade.
I said, not the GOAT of all time. My GOAT personally, because Dirk's my favorite player. He'll always be number 1 in my heart.
I
But
mean, y'all had Steve Nash and Jason Kidd.
we had Dirk.
Mhm.
All due respect to Steve Nash, Jason Kidd. All due respect to anybody that's ever been here. All due respect to Luka right now. We had Dirk.
So okay, let's say Luca brings you a title. Does that change your mind?
Say what now? Say again?
If Luca brings a title to Dallas, does that change your mind?
Uh, it would, yeah. Listen, I also, deep in my heart, kind of think that by the end of Luka's career, said and done, he'll have overtaken Dirk as not only as the GOAT in Dallas, but as the best Dallas Mavericks player of all time, which will be quite an accomplishment if he does it.
I mean, the GOAT of Dallas, like you still have Dak, still got Zeke the Freak. Hey, it's a really big title, bro.
If you're going to put any Dallas Cowboys in there, let's start with somebody with
I'm just saying.
yeah, thank you.
I'm just saying, man.
As our producer Sam would like to say, Aikman would like to speak in the walk-in. So, we'll see. That's fine. He can speak in the walk-in. But the city of Dallas is chosen. We renamed the goddamn street in front of the AAC Nowitzki Way. That man is the Abraham. That man is, would he be Abraham Lincoln or George Washington? Pick your favorite president on Mount Rushmore, and that's who Dirk is on the Mount Rushmore of Dallas sports. Just like that.
To be honest, okay, I feel like you're forgetting one big name, and I think he has to be there, or at least considered. Has to be DeAndre Jordan. It's like the biggest. I don't know if it's a FU or just y'all got pantsed.
Why do I bring you here to troll me?
I don't know, man. You need it. I'm being realistic here, man. I had fun with that. That made my summer.
Bro, I cannot tell you how mad I was and upset. Not not only did we miss out on him and we signed that money to Wesley Matthews instead, we could have had DeAndre Jordan, Lob City DeAndre Jordan in his prime, and we ended up paying Wesley Matthews $80 million. Not to even discuss that, though. The fact that he literally got held hostage in his house by Chris Paul and Blake Griffin,
Yeah, that's different.
that
That's
is,
commitment, man. Y'all don't have that. It's
yeah,
a different game out here. I'm saying y'all need to stay in your lane. Y'all are not committed to win. You don't do what is necessary.
were the Clippers committed to win then either, Jeremy? Were they?
At least it was Lob City. You got to do something if you're not winning, right?
And where did that get them?
So 30 for 30 in a couple of years. That'll be. I know you're gonna be interested. Remember, they had a little situation with Blake in the locker room and Chris Paul. Whenever he went back to, oh no, that was Houston. The Chris Paul and the Clippers.
I'll only be interested if they intermittently cut it with Chris Paul State Farm commercials and Blake Griffin Kia commercials.
Hey, Blake is actually hilarious. Have you seen some of his stand up?
He has stand up?
He does, yeah, he does stand up. You don't know that?
Wow.
He's actually a really funny guy. I like him.
I respect it. I respect it. I liked him in his Kia commercials, all the ones where he like goes back to his former selves, like his younger selves. Always remember him dunking on his 11-year-old self. He's like, "Don't wear jean shorts, bro."
I respect his evolution though, because he was just a dunker for a while, and he really grew his game. Got a lot of respect for him. He's really talented, high key.
He is. I mean, he had to though. Like when dunking was the only thing, it was great when your entire team was built around that. But DeAndre Jordan left, Chris Paul left. When you were the only dude left in the Clippers, and there wasn't much around you, you kind of had to develop a mid-range jumper. You have to wear that shooting sleeve for a reason now. Is what I'm saying.
No, but he's done even more than that. He can facilitate a whole team. Hey, y'all was sleeping on him.
I just feel like the poor dude got sent out to Detroit for his career to just kind of die.
Yeah. I thought they were gonna get LaMelo. That would have been a little bit more interesting to me.
Then him going to Charlotte.
Yep. Because I feel like he fits a need. Because the Charlotte still has Devontae Graham and Scary Terry, so I don't know how that's gonna work.
Can we talk about this Gordon Hayward signing though?
You don't like it?
Not for $30 million a year, Jeremy. I saw something earlier from ESPN on Twitter. Listen, I saw something earlier from ESPN on Twitter that there are only three players in NBA history to sign multiple $30 million a year contracts. Okay, it was Kevin Durant, LeBron James, and Gordon fucking Hayward.
In all fairness, none of them got hurt like he did.
One of these things is not like the other.
Gordon is actually good. He's actually really. I don't know if he's on there. He's
Wow.
not on there, but I'm going to defend him. He's actually really good, and he can take them into the 7th or 8th seed in the East easily with LaMelo. I'm guaranteeing that. You hold me on that.
Wow. Sam, bookmark this one because we'll come back to this.
Gordon, bookmark this part right here. Gordon Hayward is a dog.
Okay. All right. Comeback player of the year this next year, huh? What do you think?
I wouldn't go that far. I need to see a list of who's coming back, but I would not go that far. I think he's gonna ease into it. Maybe the first half is gonna be kind of slow. Second half, he's gonna start picking it up right for that push for the 8th seed or 7th, maybe even 6th.
It'll be Kevin Durant. He'll be comeback player of the year.
I don't think so. They have too much talent for him to be. I feel like Kyrie's gonna be a little too selfish. And then they're still trying to get this James Harden trade. I really don't want to see that at all.
Oh, that's another thing. I'm glad you brought. We're on the same. Dude, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was so sad that we were not gonna record the week that
Yeah,
that offseason free agency opened. I was like, man,
that's tough.
it is raining wash bombs, and we are nowhere to be found here. So, but yes, dude, this whole blown up in Houston thing. How do you feel about that?
So they signed Christian Wood, and people are extremely high on this guy, and I don't know why. But I mean, I
Yeah,
guess time will tell. I don't think they should blow it up because, to be honest with you, I like the recipe. You have Russell attack, 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 live in the paint. It's free. It's a free for all with him. He can still facilitate and he can still rebound. And you have James doing what he does on the outside. That's a really good recipe. Both of them can facilitate. Both of them are playmakers. Rush just needs to stay in his lane. I feel like he's a little too stubborn, but they have a good recipe for success in my mind. And I think they got rid of Covington, possibly.
yes,
Was it?
yes.
That was good for him.
They traded Robert Covington to the Blazers, I think, for like 2 firsts and something else, maybe.
Was it Trevor Ariza?
Yes, that part.
Man, they should have kept him. Was it 3 years ago? They just let him walk. So it's good that he's coming back. I don't know what else he has left, but I like Houston the way they presently are constructed. I think they're fine.
Trevor Ariza to me is always he's that dude that you throw into the dude that gets thrown into trades just because he's the name, you know?
Yeah, he's talented though. He's a specialist, the DM3 specialist.
It's when you need to push something when you need to throw in something to push that trade over the edge because someone's like, I don't know, just one more thing maybe, and you're like, I'll give you Trevor Ariza, and they're like, yeah,
They're doing
I'll
him
take
dirty,
that.
man. It's like he's been traded like almost every year. I don't like that for him. He
It's
should have
because
just
that's
stayed in
he's that
Houston,
I'm
man.
telling you, he's that dude, man. He's that dude.
But he's
Bro,
good though.
I mean, he's just old by now is the thing. He's just
Yes, man.
aged. So, but I don't know. I wouldn't mind if Houston blew it up. Fuck them, let them blow it up.
Oh, you're scared. That's what it is. You
Scared
should
my
be.
ass, bro.
You should be.
Houston is the one team in the West that I do have no fear. I
Are you
have
serious?
every confidence in my heart that if we met them in the playoffs, we would take them in a series. I'm not saying we'd sweep them. I'm not saying it'd be necessarily easy, but they're the one team that I have every confidence in the world that we could beat in the playoffs.
The problem is you don't respect James Harden, and that is going to come back to bite you.
Bro,
Okay. Well, I'll leave it at that. That's all. That's all I
Mark,
have to say.
while we're marking shit, mark this one, bro. Meet Houston in the playoffs. We beat them. Mark this for when this inevitably happens, and I may or may not have to eat crow on this one, but mark this. It happens. I'm telling you. But James Harden in Brooklyn, that'd be interesting. That'd be a
You would
sight to
like that?
see.
I would. I don't want to see that at all. That I hate hearing that. That's just too easy at this point, man.
I don't. I'm not saying I want to see it. I don't have any feeling one way or another about seeing it. It'd be interesting for sure. That'd be something.
Do you think your Mavs could beat that team?
That'd be tough.
This guy, that'd be tough. I
I
want to
mean, to
use the
say the
word
least.
tough.
Kyrie is the linchpin of the whole thing. If Kyrie does,
Kyrie things.
but even then, guy, which Kyrie things are we talking about? Because if we're talking about the nastiest handles we've seen in quite some time, that'll work. If we're talking about flat earther Kyrie, yikes.
But him and Katie apparently are really, really close, which is kind of odd to me. But if they say they want to make it work, we'll see. But as we just saw with Houston, Russ and Kate and James thought they could play together. Doesn't seem that way. So we'll see how they work out. I don't, like I said, I don't really like KD. I respect his talent. And Kyrie, to me, is the most talented player I've ever seen. Below the rim, of course. He
Clutches.
just Talent-wise,
Clutch
it's
as pearls.
disgusting. Hey, I said it. I mean, who else is as talented as him?
You're baiting me. This is a trick. I'm not gonna
It's
be
not a
baited into
trick.
this.
It's
I'm
not
not
a
gonna be
trick.
baited into this.
It's not a trick. I mean, handles, shooting, shot creation. The only thing you could knock him for is his facilitation.
Like
That's
actually
all.
being able to run the offense.
Yeah, that's literally it.
Oh, but I don't know. Like I said, it depends on which Kyrie you get next year. If you get the Kyrie that'll be a smart ball handler and not try to force his way into the shine, essentially.
The fact that both of them worked it out to go there, I think they have an understanding.
They had to. Well, I mean, you've seen that picture of them talking at like the All Star
Yeah,
break and everything, right? God, I love how much tampering goes on at the All-Star break. It's my favorite thing about the All-Star break, to be honest. But anyways, tampering, air quotes, tampering, allegedly.
but let me ask you this question though: how do you feel about the Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown leading Boston?
I like it. I don't mind it. I think they're a great young duo to build around. Um, Jason is your Batman, Jalen Brown is your Robin. They just paid Jason Tatum too, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Gave him the max deal.
Hmm.
I love it. I love it for him getting paid. I love Jalen Brown got paid too. I think last offseason.
Yeah,
So I like it for both of them. I think they are a really good team who can. I don't know exactly what they need. I think they're still missing one or two pieces, but I think they're like right there.
see, I always thought they were trying to get Steven Adams, and I thought that's exactly what they need, like a throwback big.
Someone better than like Enes Cantor.
And this man, he's not a defensive rim protector. He doesn't really play big at times. Offensively, though, he will crash the boards, and he'll give you, 15 points maybe in the paint. But there's something missing in his game that doesn't make him a starter. If he could be a starter for them, he would be great. But they still need a true big. Daniel, he's nice. It's just not big enough. You know what I mean?
You tell me you don't believe in Taco Fall?
Hey, it's a little too early for that. He can shoot threes now, so maybe give him like a year or two. His movement, his lateral quickness is a little concerning for me. I feel like Steven Adams would have been perfect for them.
Taco just needs his Giannis glow up.
Oof, that's actually terrifying to think of.
Like I just on the frame. I mean, not even necessarily the same skill set, but like how Giannis was real, just like
That's disgusting.
bro,
I don't want to think about that. That'll be he's like seven.
six, dude, or maybe not
No,
seven
I
six,
don't.
but he's
Yeah, I think
huge.
7'6". He is huge. To put on 50 pounds of muscle, he's already kind of. He wasn't as skinny as Giannis. That'd be terrifying. I don't know who wants to go in the paint. This is gonna be all jump shots.
Yeah, I've
No
got. I see
rebound
him.
game.
I see him listed here at 7'5".
Damn,
Holy
that's too much. How tall is Kristaps? 7'4"?
7'3", I think.
Nah, that's too much. He
Listen,
needs 50 pounds of muscle. Take his game
he's
to MVP level.
he's been adding on ever since
He
he
has.
ever since he got on with Dallas in that trade back last year at the beginning of last year. He's been adding the muscle on slowly but surely. Like I think he's just always in there crank, which is what he needs. Cranking the weights. He needs to put on that upper body. He needs to put on that lower body. We need muscles around those knees, along with like duct tape and holy water. But
Yeah, be careful with that, man. So similar to Lonzo Ball, my favorite ball brother. I like him. Just can't teach passing. I was a believer in him. That's all I have to say. I know you're tired of LeVar, but I think LeVar is a genius, to be honest with you. Some things were questionable, of course. At the same time, I respect him a lot, actually. Almost proud of him, but I'll use just respect for now. He was a visionary.
I have mixed feelings about the man. I don't. It's not that I necessarily. I don't hate him. I don't got any hate for him because the more I thought about it when it was pointed out to me, really he's a good dad. I mean,
Hmm.
great dad. That's just having a lot of love for your kids. Um, and I do always admire the confidence the man had. I mean, he boldly, proudly from day one went out there and was like, "My kids are the best. They'll sauce all of you. Like I have the best kids in the world to play this game." And I can respect the confidence in that. I can
Hmm.
respect the love and everything there. I think he went about it the wrong way.
That's debatable, and I'm not gonna argue that he did everything perfect, but I almost feel like might be a sneak peek into my future. Anyways, as we were saying,
Hey man, we talked about it. The kid's gonna be a quarterback, right?
of course, quarterback or we're playing NBA. That's it.
What are you gonna train him up to be? Point guard? Floor general?
It really just depends on his size, but probably point.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see. So overall, all of that being said, overall, who's won the offseason? I mean, I normally wouldn't ask this question this early in the offseason, but considering that we're only going to get about 3 weeks of it in total before the season starts in training camp, who's won the offseason?
It's gonna be a big surprise to you, but personally, 76ers are, hey, Daryl Morey, that's my guy. He's doing everything perfect, to be honest with you. He got two really good shooters, and then Tyrese Maxey in the draft moved Al Horford. It's perfect, man. They still have Tobias. Ben is going to be coming back. That's really going to be a championship team in my mind. They just need a closer. Hopefully, someone, I think Doc possibly could get into Embiid's ear, get him to actually lose some weight so we can see him in his truest form. Because I don't think he's ever been in shape any of the years he's been back. And I don't think he's been fully healthy. I think hopefully, if he can start eating right, taking care of his body, he could probably be an all-time great big. I'm talking Hakeem great because he's the most talented big in the league in my mind. Yes,
You really
over
think he's
80.
been?
Yes, over 80.
You think he's been out of shape that long, huh?
He
The whole time?
has the whole time. Bro. Look at the way he walks and runs. You can tell he's tired all the time.
Yeah, I mean, you got to keep in mind though. You're right. He's been hurt a lot.
He's been hurt a lot, bro.
He's been first 2 years.
Yeah.
His rookie year, he was hurt and out of the draft. He was hurt the next year after that. Like he didn't even get any playing time until his third year in the league.
Yep. And
So
then when he did that, he was playing like every other game, which was throwing him off as well. He never really got into a rhythm. Then after he got, I think, his fourth or fifth year, he was finally able to get a little bit of a starting role, but it wasn't his full coming out party in terms of his physical fitness. I think he hasn't been taking care of himself. It's probably the African food, to be honest with you.
because he's from where?
I think he's Cameroonian or
Yes.
Congolese.
No,
Cameroonian?
I think it's Cameroonian. Yeah.
Because I think what was it? Another NBA player went there. Was it? It wasn't Luka Mute. It was the other one with the Rockets. I forget his name.
Oh, I don't
No, no,
remember.
no. It was Luka Mute.
You sure?
Yeah, that was him.
That's I was thinking Senegalese, but I think that's who was that dude that used to be on the Wolves? Gorgie Dang? Him?
Oh yeah,
I think it
he
was
was actually
him.
pretty good. I thought he was gonna be better than what he turned out to be.
He wasn't too bad. Those Wolves teams for so long are just weird, man. Dude, it was so funny to me on this offseason seeing Ricky Rubio
Oh man,
work so hard to escape the Timberwolves, and then it came full circle and he got traded back. Oh,
he's actually a good player. He's not bad at all. It's just he didn't fit in too much wherever he ended up staying. I think Utah, I would have kept him. instead of Conley, because Conley hasn't really gotten to where he's supposed to be yet.
I don't think Conley's ever going to be the same after all those injuries.
It's tough, man.
It is. I mean, your body takes wear and tear, and it'll
Change you, man.
it will. I mean, just after a certain point in time, your body just physically is like, yo, we can't do this anymore.
I think the biggest one was Derrick Rose.
Of course, he's the most. I would agree. He's the most famous example of. And it's sad, man, because his body wasn't even fully developed yet.
Scary.
That dude won MVP at what, 20 years old? 21, something like that. That's scary. And then
Just
I don't
rushing
know.
back, man. You got to take care of yourself. Can't be pressured. Similar to KD.
Marshawn Lynch said it best, man. Take care of your mentals. Take care of your chicken.
Exactly.
So, and I agree. I love this. I love that KD is just like, yeah. He literally signed that contract, and they were like, yeah, this first year is just a dummy year. I'm rehabbing this whole time. Y'all making me do shit. And they're like, all right, yeah, it works.
We'll see how it goes for them, though. They have a really talented team around them. It's really, really deep. Almost like the um, Clippers of the East.
Do you like Landry Shamet going there?
I love him. He's an excellent role player. He could potentially be a really, really decent starter.
Agreed. I mean, as much as I don't like the guy sometimes, he was one of those. He's one of those dudes that if you had him on your team, you'd really appreciate him.
Mm-hmm.
So, because he can shoot the ball well. Go ahead.
I was going to similar to Pat Beverly. I know you like him a lot. That's your guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, that's a lot of the Clippers. Just a
It
lot
is,
of those
though.
dudes on that team were just like the Morris. Like Marquise Morris is like, bro, if I have you, that's great. But if I'm playing against you, God, you're getting on my
Fighting,
damn
bro.
nerves,
Exactly.
man.
You have to fight.
Oh, my goodness. So, how do you feel about Chris Paul to the Suns? You think that actually helps Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton?
I actually think it will, especially Devin. Just take some pressure off of him. Let him kind of float around, get some more easy buckets. And then DeAndre, I think he can really, really be top 5 bigs. So Chris Paul might help him unlock something within himself. I think he's going to help the offense, definitely. It's a really interesting team. I'm really, really curious to see how they're going to actually play well together.
And did you see Kelly Oubre? I know you're big on him.
Man, I hated seeing him go, but you got to do what you got to do. And the kid that they drafted, Cam, he's all right. I think they got him last year. They say he's a really good shooter, but we'll see. I think Kelly he was perfect for them. He brought a lot of energy to them. Co-star to Devin whenever DeAndre was out. But let's see what the Warriors do with Kelly, though. I like him a lot.
I agree. I mean, just another example of the rich get richer, right?
Yep. But again, they might just package all this stuff and trade it. I wonder what they're thinking. I'm really, really curious to see what they're thinking.
If I'm thinking you jam, because with Kevin Durant leaving, with everyone getting hurt, you kind of see your championship window, at least in theory, closing, right? You think to yourself, all right, you finally, or at least the reality of it sets in, like, hey, we can't do this forever. We need to do as much as we can now, right? So I think what they're trying to do is essentially take a piece of wood and jam it in there and keep that window open just a little bit longer. That's what I think they're trying to do.
The thing, though, I don't really. I used to really, really, really like Steph. I think whenever the bandwagoners came on, I kind of fell off a little bit. But I don't respect him enough to see him as somebody who can literally carry a franchise. I think his body's gonna just wear out. So I don't really believe in him like that, to be honest with you. honestly think that they're done. There's no way they're gonna win another championship unless they get somebody else. But if it's just Clay and Steph and James, I can't see it. The West is too big. It's too many people.
It is. I mean, it's crowded. It's a crowded room in the West. Um, and here's my thing on it. I'm not going to be sad if they don't. I think they've definitely had their time, and I think they've had more than enough of a dynasty to set themselves apart for all of history in basketball.
Mhm.
I mean, we know it. They were, what is it, almost 4 or 5 straight, like 4 straight finals they made an appearance in, 3 out of 4.
Yeah. That's not bad at all.
So if they don't win another one, I'm not going to be sad about it. They've had a good run, and I think they'll be remembered fondly. But I don't know. I think it'd be silly to discount them and not think of them as a threat at all.
I don't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I really don't. Steph is just not that guy. His body, his ankles. I don't know if you remember whenever he was first drafted, first couple of years, man.
Yeah.
He can't be like James Harden. He can't carry the team and give you but 35 and 8. He might give you maybe 25, 6. It's just not going to be enough.
I
Because I
mean,
think he's getting older, so now you have to pace him. I don't know, man. And
I
people are going to be
mean,
keen on him. You want to body him up a little bit. It's too much for him to handle. It's too much to ask of him at his stature.
the man did have back-to-back MVPs in the middle of that run, but
Okay, but he had Clay.
he did have Clay. Clay Thompson, in my opinion, greatest microwave scorer of all time.
I would agree with you.
Like, I know we have Lou Will out there in the world, and we have Jamal Crawford, who would enter this chat and have
Oh.
something to say, but I would still put, as far as like just instantly turn it on and get it going, Clay Thompson.
But let me ask you this though: if let's say only one of them was on the court with your first or second unit, no, with your second unit, who would be the best microwave scorer? I believe without a doubt it would be Jamal Crawford. I think he's a better scorer than Clay.
I would agree with you only because Jamal Crawford has
Handles.
that and he has experience in that role. His entire career, has been sixth man of the year, leading the kind of second unit on offense. I think Klay Thompson, while again I still think he's the best microwave scorer of all time, I think he benefits a lot from gets a lot of benefit from that by playing with guys like Steph Curry. He played with Kevin Durant. Playing in the offense he did, it
Mhm.
gave him all those opportunities. Jamal Crawford a lot of time was leading. Remember the long time he led the Clippers bench,
Oh
and
yeah,
then he was leading like Phoenix and Sacramento and just
you
wherever the
name
hell
it.
he ended up.
New
Yeah,
York,
wherever
yeah.
the hell he ended up, man. But
Professional scorer is what they call him.
yeah, dude, he's a walking bucket, and that man has an entire I believe he probably dudes like that have an entire black book of like everyone whose ankles they've taken in the game.
I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like he can still play. That's the thing.
Like, ooh, I'm not gonna lie to you. That last Dirk home game against the Suns, when he was just cooking and cooking, and I was like, please, someone tell this man to not ruin Dirk's last home game, please, please.
Hey, I'm sorry, man. When you get on the court, just want to go home. That's it.
Oh, so I thought it was something, but yes, I would think out of all those guys, Jamal Crawford is probably the best leading a bench, but it just purely turn it on and go. It's Clay. The man had 38 points in a quarter. You can't ask anything else out of that. You can't.
I mean,
Man's had
he's. Go ahead.
he had 60 points on 11 dribbles in one game.
It's ridiculous. To be honest with you, if I had to take somebody when they were at their absolute hotness, I would probably go with Clay even over Steph. Whenever Clay gets hot, he's the most dangerous to me between both of them.
I think Clay is the better shooter. I think Steph is just so ballsy in his game. Like pound for pound, I think Clay has the better shot, but Steph Curry is just so ballsy with his game. You got to think he ushered in the entire era of we're taking like 3 steps back and then shooting the 3.
Yeah, he did.
Like Larry Bird did it before it was cool, but Steph ushered in the entire age where he made it cool. So I think the man he's not afraid to put up any shot on you at any time from anywhere on that court. No, he's not afraid at all, in my opinion.
So you're saying Clay's the best shooter of all time?
He's the best shooter I've ever seen, at least that I've ever seen play.
Okay.
And all the time I've been watching, he's the best shooter I've ever seen. So
I would agree with you, to be honest.
I've just never. It's so the catch and shoot threes are just so effortless.
They are.
He's almost like a robot out there sometimes. You ever notice that man has like no expression on his face ever at all?
Yeah.
And there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but just
Right.
blank-faced assassin, dude. He's stroke back down the court.
But the thing, though, now that you mention it, what if we got to see Steph play off ball? See him come off all those down pick and rolls, those down screens, catch and shoot. That might be different. Actually, now that I think about it.
What if Steph had a Steph?
Right. Because, I think he was already a 50, 40, 90 type of player.
You talking about Steph? You talking about Clay?
Steph.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I think did he hit the 50, 40, 90? I think he did at least once.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's interesting to think about. What if, huh?
Yep, what if? I mean, they could have got LaMelo. We could have seen that. Hey,
God, what a small ball lineup that would be, man. God. Running Draymond at the 5. Who are you putting at the 4 at that point? Fucking.
They find somebody, man. Just
You can put Andrew Wiggins out there at the 4 in that lineup, bro. God.
actually, I put LaMelo at the 4. To be honest, he's 6'7".
Melo, I like that. I like to see that Melo re-signed with the Blazers. I respect that.
Because you didn't respect him earlier.
Never.
I remember.
I
I
didn't.
remember all of it.
I know. I remember the slander was real. The slander was hot and it was real, and this is true. But I'm glad to see him in.
I mean,
Basketball is better with Melo.
some decent respect. I mean, is that too much to ask for?
Where's my damned respect?
I mean, he was KD before KD. He was the go-to scorer. Mm-hmm.
So, but fair is fair, in all due respect. I'm happy to see the man play basketball. So, how about your boy Maradona, though?
Oh man, yeah. I wanted to touch on that.
Rip to a legend, bro.
This year has been an interesting one. One to definitely remember.
I'm fucking tired of it, bro.
Oh my gosh.
I'm done with it. I'm sick of this year, man. It Bro.
Definitely rest in peace to Maradona, though. It's crazy thinking he's not here. He had such a lively personality about him. Like, he made everything look fun.
For real.
And he had some swag. Like, I liked his old man swag too. Like, when I first got the notification, it said he was having brain surgery, but it wasn't anything major.
Like a couple of weeks ago, right? Yeah.
Right. And then a couple of days ago, it was like he dies. It's like And I heard they're investigating the
The
surgeon or
doctors,
the
I think,
doctor.
right?
Yeah. From my practice, I don't know, man. This like you said, man. I'm really over this year myself. I've learned a lot. There's been some good times, but the losses, or maybe it's supposed to be lessons we're supposed to learn. It's tough.
Like, bro, do you remember that Kobe died this year? That was this year. That was this year. That's how we started 2020. Was we lost Kobe, and it has felt like 17 lifetimes and a million years ago, and that was all still in this year. I'm sick of it, bro.
Yeah.
They can't. 2020 can't keep doing this to us, man. It
Just wanted
can't.
to get over. But
It
the
can't
thing
anymore.
is, we're thinking 2021 is going to balance it out. We'll see.
Wear your mask out there, folks. Mask up for us
Definitely.
all. Because I'm not going to lie to y'all, if I have to go another sports season without actually going to an in-person event, I'm going to lose my shit. Like, if I don't get to see the Mavs play in person this season, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind.
I mean, we can live past that. That's not like we're talking about real teams like the Lakers. You know what I mean?
Bro,
Even we
if
wouldn't
you
even
don't
take the Knicks.
if
We
you
want
don't
to see the Garden.
stop with this,
We want
if
to
you
see the
don't
Garden.
if you don't take DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge along with Lonnie Walker the fourth haircut and stop all this god dang disrespect here, I will not have it any further, Jeremy. I will
And
not
whilst you're
have
on it, okay, between DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus, who are better 2-point shooters than both of them?
literally nobody.
Mid-range killers,
They're
man.
the mid-range gods. I'll give you that. If basketball didn't have a three-point shot, DeMar DeRozan would be Kobe, fam. He would be fucking Kobe. I'm telling you.
That's a fact. That is a fact. The saddest
Like,
part is I never really liked him over Kyle Lowry, to be honest with you. I respected his game, but I didn't think he was better than Kyle.
I didn't think he was better. I thought they worked well together, but it's what
They
I
did
always
though.
thought. I knew the
Yeah.
man. Like, I always thought to myself, DeMar, you can't shoot the three. You don't shoot the three. Mid-range, God, but where's the three ball?
It's kind of like if he had the three ball, he could have been in the MVP discussion. He probably would have beat Cleveland a couple of times, honestly, because he's a killer. He has that mentality already. I don't know why he just never put in the work at the three. It's like he just gave up and was like, "Yeah, this is not for me. I could do something else though."
And besides, you always hate to see your ex break up with you and
I
then
know, man. Oh
immediately
man,
go get a new man, and then you know that they're better than you and all that good shit. Like, bro,
it wasn't even that she got somebody else. You knew this person. You saw him coming from a mile away. He was like a better version of you. Really?
he's that dude. It's literally just that meme. It's like you versus the dude she tells you not to worry
Exactly.
about.
It really was. Man, I know
Oh.
that had to hurt, man. There's no way it cannot hurt.
Well, like, I mean, think about it. He's sitting there and he's like, bro, I did not spend all these years on this mediocre ass team freezing my ass off up north.
Mm.
For y'all to trade me for Kawhi fucking Leonard and go win a ring. I'd be salty as hell if I were him.
Oh, definitely. But I feel like now he's changed his perception on it. I think he's ready to like just go off and retire because he opted back in with us. I don't know why. I didn't want him to stay. I was hoping he would leave. Man, go on to greener pastures, bro. We're trying to rebuild over here. We don't need a mid-range killer, bro.
I don't need a
We have
$25
buckets.
million mid-range game.
We don't. We really don't.
You and LaMarcus. It's
It's too much, man.
we're calling this experiment, fam. It's done. We're out of here.
I thought maybe the Lakers would entice him to come through, take a little pay cut. Actually, you know what? They should do a sign and trade to give us Kyle Kuzma. Let us flip
In
that.
your dreams, dude.
Why not?
In your dreams.
I mean, he's a better third option. Could you imagine that though?
That'd be a hell of a young core. Jesus.
I mean, DeMar with LeBron and AD. There's no way they don't win.
He would eat at the mid-range every day. You would wait until LeBron or AD have like 3 guys covering him in the paint. You kick it out, and we are elbow jumpers till I die.
It's butter. But it's really becoming a lost art in this game. They need to go back to it. That's why I love Melo so much, man. Just give me the ball, low post, elbow, jab step back, pump, splash.
It's funny. The most mellow thing I've ever seen was a game when he was with the Thunder. And it was when they were playing it was the Lakers before I think LeBron got there, when they were still pretty bad.
Mhm.
Corey Brewer was was lined up against Melo in the paint. And Melo, just like you said, he took 10, 15 seconds every time, just back him down, hook, back him down, step back, switch. I was like, bro, stop playing with your food before you eat it, man, and just get this bucket and go on.
It's a dance, man. Y'all don't understand. It's a dance. You have to go through the process. You got to fill it out, and then butter. It's kind of like wearing a do rag. You have to let the waves bake, and then when it's time, you can reveal it. But they have to bake.
How can you go back to the basket if you don't go back to the basket, right?
Exactly. But anyways, these Cleveland Browns keep winning. I don't really like it. Does that bother you, or is it just me?
Deadass, they're the worst 8-3 team I've ever seen in my life, bro.
To be honest, man, doesn't sit right with me. They
They're
don't deserve it.
They're the worst 8-3 team I've ever seen in my goddamn life. So, like, the fact that they're gonna make the playoffs but not the Ravens, possibly, like, really, I don't like that. Cam is not looking good right now, fam.
Man. Hey,
bro, I'm just telling you, it is not looking good.
This man doesn't have any weapons, man. What don't y'all understand about that? Come on.
Rex Burkhead had the breakout game, and then he immediately got hurt afterwards.
Exactly. Y'all are killing my guy out here, man. Y'all are really killing my guy out here. Wow. They go 8-3 1 year.
I don't know, man. Do you take Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields if you're the Jets?
I'm sorry. Whoever has the number 1 pick, you have to take Trevor. Personally, it's tough. It really is. But you have to. He's the prototypical, for sure. You have to.
I would agree with you. I would take Trevor Lawrence myself. I think not only does he have, I think, all the skills that Justin Fields had, he has the prototypical size, like you said.
Exactly.
He can move. He can throw. He's pretty good decision making. He's got the arm strength for sure. That means he's got a cannon.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I got lost there. But no, I would take Trevor Lawrence over Justin Fields too. So it'll be interesting to see. Do you think the Jets go 0-16 on the season?
I think they're hoping they do. They're probably planning on it. I would not be surprised.
The only thing that would be better and more Jetsy than the Jets going 0-16 is because what is it? The Jaguars are 1-15, right? They're the other team with only like 1 win. It would be so Jets-like for them to win 1 game before the end of the year, and that somehow screw them out of the first pick, and they let the Jaguars get it. That would be so cosmically fulfilling and on par for them that it would be so beautiful to see.
But in all honesty, Justin Fields would not be a bad consolation prize. I
Absolutely
love
not.
Did you see what D-Hop posted? That little picture?
Yeah, bro.
That's petty as hell.
We've missed
I love it though.
We missed so much over the past couple of weeks. Me and Sam were watching the Bills Cardinals game together, and I remember. Did you watch that game? That Hail Mary that Hop had?
I saw the ending. Yeah,
Did you see the Stephon Diggs touchdown before it?
yeah, I saw that too. That was nice.
Yes, right. So we were watching that game, and when that Stephon Diggs catch happened, I was like, "Oh, that is a fucking nice way to seal that game up, right?"
Hmm.
And I remember because Sam had said, "All right, well, the Bills are about to be. I think they were 7-2. He's like, they're about to be 8-2," and I was like, "Give Kyler Murray a chance. We'll see." And sure enough, it ends with that play, and I was like, "Oh, nice." Watching that live was so much fun.
But then the debate started to come about: is he the best wide receiver? The disrespect, man, is
I know.
mounting.
Listen. I know how you feel about it. I know how you feel. I'm sure you felt all the same disrespect this year with all this DK talk going on, right?
I mean, it's not even disrespect. It's blasphemous to compare to Calvin, of all people, Calvin. God.
Okay, no, I was referring to the Julio Jones. Yeah, to compare to Calvin right now that's uncalled for. I was talking about everyone talking about like the DK Metcalf Julio Jones things. 'Cause I know Julio to you. I know how we feel. You feel the same
Julio
way about
part
Julio to you?
is just that part is just idiotic. He's not fluid. He's never gonna be that fluid. Julio is 6'4", moving the way he moves. It's ridiculous. There's no way he's gonna catch up to Julio. Impossible. I can't see that.
Remember that picture I sent you a couple of weeks ago because I knew it'd come in handy of the. It was Calvin
The
getting double
corners.
covered.
Yeah.
Yes, bro. I've
How
never seen
quickly
that
you
in my
forget,
life.
man.
Never in my life.
It's like some high school things, you know? Like these are grown men, but it's usually what you do in high school, if that.
Oh my. DK is cooking early. He has got 7 receptions for 118 yards in the first half. Bro,
He's a freak,
how
of
about
course.
Tyreek Hill, fam?
Man, you know, he has a
Jesus.
special category. I don't think he's a wide receiver. He's not a running back. He's what you call a weapon. Okay, that dude is a weapon. Don't limit him to one specific position.
Like, just my goodness. 203, like over 200 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. Excuse me? God.
They said he was on pace for 1,000 yards for the day.
Bro, if God. Jesus. Dude, it will never not blow my mind watching the Chiefs play football, especially Patrick Mahomes.
Of course,
It
unanimous.
it just will never not blow my mind watching that dude play. He is Chicago. You really traded a pick away to move up to take Trubisky?
In all fairness, he really had the great size to look for in the quarterback. That's it, in my eyes at the time.
That is it. I don't know what else you saw. Not even okay. And even if you want to look at Patrick Mahomes and say he played in the Big 12 at Texas Tech, they played to his strengths, whatever you want to say about him. But you didn't want to pick Deshaun Watson either, who had been going up against Nick
Disrespect.
Saban every year for like ever at that point. Come
Yeah,
on now.
disrespect was real, man. I don't know why.
Come on, man. Come on, bro. I don't
Part
know
of me
what.
feels bad for Mitch, because I heard he's really sensitive about the whole situation. People talking bad about him in the organization, turning off TVs as he's working out. It's just his psyche is just shot. And he put Nick Foles in, and it's like he might be done, or he might just need a new start. Just go somewhere, Detroit maybe. I don't know.
I
Speaking of
don't blame.
Detroit though,
Yeah,
my guy got fired, man.
finally.
So,
It's
To
only
be
a matter.
honest,
It was only a matter of time.
it was. I was hoping he could turn it around, but it's not
Yikes.
gonna happen. He can still be a really good defensive coordinator, I think. Maybe not a head coach just yet, but he should definitely get another chance. I like him. He's cool. Rocket science.
I don't disagree with the. I don't dislike the guy. He was not a very good head coach in this tenure. Not this time, at least.
Nope.
So, but I mean, it happens all the time, every day in the NFL. You pluck coordinators and you think they'll be good, and they don't. But it happens. Speaking of quarterbacks who need second chances, right?
Mhm.
Do you think it is disrespectful to Jameis Winston that Taysom Hill is getting these starts?
I would say no, only because number one, the offense looks more energized with them in there, and the opposing defenses are not expecting or preparing to play him in the traditional way. So it's gonna hold them back a little bit because you don't know what you're gonna get out of him. So I feel like he's more of a team player. He's understanding. Just let it ride out.
Is that about Jameis is?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Teams have stuff.
I don't think he's got any. I don't think he's got any hate or anything. I just
Right.
you have to think that, like, in the back of his head, he's got to be just a little bit salty, right?
Hey, if you were better, you'd be starting, right? Just call it what it is.
Hey, man,
We go with what gives us the best chance to win. Period.
straight up, I don't disagree with you there. I mean, and of course, Taysom Hill is, we call him the gadget guy, right? That's what his technical position probably is.
I
Shit.
mean, what a position though. Like that's really enjoying football. You get to be a receiver one day, you play quarterback, running back, you be on punt return, kickoff. Dude is just playing football.
Right? Well, I mean, your entire security is in the fact that
They
you
need
can do anything. Well, you can do
everywhere.
any of it. Yeah.
That's really
So
dope.
I'm not mad at it. It's definitely interesting for sure.
Hmm.
Um, I think all the talk of we'll see if Taysom Hill can be the quarterback of the future. I think we
I
need to
don't
go
know
and
about all
squash
that.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we need to go ahead and squash that. 'Cause I've heard a couple articles I've been reading about.
Mhm.
They're like, yeah, it could be. It's
Nah.
possibly the Saints are looking to see if they have something. I'm like, well, they should stop looking because this ain't it.
I think they would know by now if they had something. I'm pretty sure.
Right. So
But I think Jameis is perfect for them going forward. I
you
think he
think
can
so?
step right in. Yes, absolutely. I actually really, really like Jameis as well as Josh Rosen, but people want to give up on us. It's cool. We'll be back.
Speaking of the Saints, actually, we'll stay with this. I'll make it relevant here. How you like this Denver Broncos quarterback situation for this game against them?
So they said he was a practice wide receiver, right? Practice squad.
Fam, he played quarterback in high school and won state championship one year. He was a backup quarterback at Wake Forest before he turned wide receiver his senior year. Undrafted rookie this year. He was cut by the Broncos like right after camp or like in the first couple of weeks of the season. The man was out bagging groceries, fam.
Man, for
He
real.
was working odd jobs, and they called him up and signed him back in November, and then he didn't even get practice reps at the
Ah,
position.
so are you
Bro,
telling me they were like, "What are we gonna do?" Someone was like, "Oh wait! Remember that dude back then?" They called him up and just did this over a couple of days. That's what we're
well,
doing
no,
out
like
here.
I said, because they had already signed him back to the practice squad in November. Um, when like one of the receivers got hurt, he was already back on the team, going to practice for about a
Gotcha.
month. But they didn't know until Saturday night that all of them would be deemed high risk and ineligible. So they had already practiced that day, so they literally didn't even get he didn't even get a chance to take quarterback reps in practice because it was so sudden. I don't know if you heard one of their offensive coaches. I don't remember exactly what his title was. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, I did.
He he played quarterback at UCF from like 2008 to 2010. They called the NFL and they were like, "Hey, yo, can we use this guy?" And they were like, "No."
Why not? Probably like
That's
50
That's what I'm
million.
saying. That's hoeing, dude. I would have let the guy play at that point. Shit.
Do you know how old he was?
Like, gotta have been in his 30s somewhere.
I wonder what he was thinking.
You think they came to him and like asked, and he like
Hey
probably thought it
man.
was a joke? They're like, "Hey, mind if we call the NFL and see if you can play?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure, LOL." And then they were like, "Hey, yo, can we use this guy?" And he's like, "Wait, chill, chill, chill."
That's a lot to ask though, if you haven't played in a while. Because then the thing that I don't like about that situation is Colin Kaepernick is still out there.
So,
Okay.
well, that was a big thing that everyone got it. Getting tongue-tied. His name was trending right after this whole situation, obviously. But the biggest thing, at least for that situation, was he wouldn't have been able to play anyways due to COVID protocol. He would have had to pass negative tests and quarantine for several days beforehand. So even if they had signed him Saturday night as soon as they found out, at best he could have only played this week.
At best.
At best, like as soonest. Not at best. The soonest he could have
Right.
played was this week. So I definitely thought that myself. I was like, well, if there was ever a time, but maybe in any other year, just not this one. But it made me think of remember Luke McCown? Is it Luke or Josh?
Josh.
The one that
Josh.
signed for the Eagles, right?
Yep.
They have him as the emergency quarterback. I remember hearing about these details from ESPN. They pay him $12,000 a week. He lives here in Texas, actually. Like, he doesn't
Wow.
even live in Philly. He lives here in Texas on his ranch. But they pay him $12,000 a week just to, at any point in time, if they need to, call him up and say, "Come play for us." Kind of exactly like they did, remember last year when Wentz got hurt right before they made that playoff start. So Josh McCown had to go in and play.
Yep.
And that's what they did. They called him and they were like, "Yo, you need to be here like yesterday." And there he was.
Backup quarterbacks, man.
I wish somebody would pay me $12,000 a week to just be on standby, bro.
No, the backup quarterbacks, man, that is the position, really. A premier position just to chill, reap the benefits. You get to run scout team offense during the week. Could be like a practice superstar.
Well, not just that, you get paid pretty good premium backup money at least because you're a premium position. Even if you're the
It is.
backup, you're the next best guy. So you're getting
Yep.
like your backup quarterback is getting like 6-8 million a year on these contracts,
Yep.
bruh. And then what was it? Matt Castle, I think, one year, the backup god, got like $40 million on a contract. Jeez Louise. Bro. Quarterbacks finesse money. They do.
They definitely do. That's the number one position to do so. They're really overpaid.
Like who's the biggest, in your opinion, who's the biggest finesse player in the NFL?
Oh, in the NFL period.
Like who
All
previously
time, right?
even previously or currently got the most money out of their career for doing nothing?
And at the top of the list, I have a couple names. So number one would be Sam Bradford.
Of
Maybe a
course.
close second would be Jay Cutler.
He's another one that I thought of.
Kirk Cousins is kind of doing his thing now. To be honest, I actually like Kirk. He's a nice little game manager. I actually like him. Honestly.
But finessing over
Oh
$100
yeah.
million in
Oh,
fully guaranteed contracts
man.
from the Vikings,
You gotta respect it, man. It's a hustle. It's a game.
bro, that's big business right there. Let me
How
tell
you
you
play the
what,
game. It's
that is
respect.
big business.
Respect him a lot.
Jay Cutler, you are absolutely right. That dude finessed Chicago for so many years with
But
the
the other
most.
person, I know you're gonna hate. Sorry to cut you off, but
You good?
Matthew Stafford is just not that guy. He's never been that guy. Sorry, I have to throw his name in there.
disrespectful. Understand where you're coming from. Disrespectful nonetheless, especially in the company that this list is keeping.
I
Disrespectful,
get
in my
it.
opinion.
I get it. Not backing down from it. I understand
Brock Osweiler, remember that name?
though.
Bro.
He did it the best way possible because Houston really thought they had something, like real talk.
Oh my goodness.
Who do you think is number one?
Sam Bradford, 100%. I've never seen somebody finesse so much money for doing virtually nothing. Because even the other guys, Jay Cutler had plenty of actual just, I don't even necessarily say good years, but he had plenty of actual just years playing football for them. Kirk Cousins, like him or hate him, he's had actual just years playing football. I've never seen somebody get paid so much to have knee surgeries constantly.
I wonder, man. I wonder what he's doing with his money though.
Rolling around on it butt naked in a bed, Wolf of Wall Street style, fam. That's what I do.
What a guy.
Dude. And like, oh. But I was thinking about this too. Expand it to all of sports. Who's the biggest finesser, do you think?
Hmm, that is a really good question. Let me think.
Let me tell you about one of my favorites that comes up every year you've probably heard of. You ever heard of Bobby Bonilla in baseball?
No, I have not.
You ever heard of Bobby Bonilla Day? So, I'll explain it to you. Bobby Bonilla was a baseball player. He played for the Mets in the like late 90s up to 2000. 2000, they were going to release him, but he still had 5.8 million left on his contract. So, his agent being a genius convinced them to basically back pay it essentially. There's a certain term for it that I can't think of off the top of my head, but they basically backloaded it. So instead of paying it as 5.8 million at release, what they did is starting in 2011, every year until 2035, they cut him a check for like 1.9 million on July 1st.
Wow.
Not even kidding you, every year, just like clockwork. July 1st, the Mets cut him a check for like 1.5, 1.9, somewhere in that range, $1 million. So over the life of that now, it's going to be a payout of like 29 million or something like that. So what genius agent did that? Like
Exactly what
you
I
stretch 5.8, delay a payment by about 10 or 15 years, and in the end you get like 29 million.
respect the game.
And like it's crazy because he had like at least 50 plus million in career earnings already. So you have all that to live off of. On top of that, you're telling me someone's going to cut me a check for what is essentially going to be my play money for the year? Bro, like life's great at that point, man.
Oh yeah.
Life is great. So, but God, we could talk about the NBA too. Jesus Christ. I'm going to start with Jan Mahimi. Whoever was the Wizards, I think, decided to pay him $64 million. Man, the year the salary cap really exploded was a weird year, bro. You remember that offseason?
I do.
They were giving anybody that could breathe and put on shoes money to play basketball that year, bro.
Yeah.
Timothy Mozgov got paid by the Lakers. Remember how that turned out?
I actually like him, man. He was not bad at all, man. He's a role player. The man lives.
Man. But bad contracts exist everywhere in sports.
They really do, though.
Bloated, bad contracts everywhere.
Sometimes you have to overpay. You just have to sometimes. It's a penalty for being in a place where nobody wants to go.
Yeah, but do I have to pay Chandler Parsons $96 million for 7 points per game over the course of that contract? Do I really, Jeremy? Do I?
Yeah, potential, man. It's Dallas. They just contaminate talent. That's what they do.
Contaminate talent. He was like third rate at best when he got here.
No, he was balling out in Houston. He was progressing.
Man, my eyes, bro. Thank you all so much for tuning in today again. Be sure to follow the show at Not That MJ Cast and like and subscribe on YouTube. Also, leave us a rating and review wherever you get your podcasts. It would really help us out. Until next time, we'll see y'all.
Peace.